Hey guys, Yasa here with freebelledanceclasses.com. So, in our today's talk, we're going to be talking about the business of belly dancing. And the question came from actually few dancers out there. They've been students for a long time. They perfected their craft, so perfected. Nobody's perfect, right? And then they thought about, hey, I want to get into this whole thing called business of belly dancing, and whatever that means, right? Define, first of all, the business of belly dancing. That's like the first point I want to address. So let me just say it right now to you all. When you talk about the business of belly dancing, and I want to do this for a living, and I want to do this as a job, and I want it to be in the business, what does that really mean to you? Because what it means to somebody else is completely different. So first of all, define what you mean by I want to get in the business of belly dancing. Do you mean you want to be a belly dance performer? What do you mean by that? So do you want to be on a stage with ticket sales, you know, like being part of an internationally renowned professional troupe of some sort? Do you want to just be doing little gigs, you know? Do you want to do big gigs? Do you want to do small gigs? Define that. And by gigs, I mean things like weddings, you know, birthdays, special events, whatever it is. Do you want to be a teacher? Is that what you're talking about? Do you want to do workshops, just travel teaching, doing workshops? Or do you just want to be in a certain location, have your own studio, and then do classes and workshops there? So define, first of all, what it is that you mean by going into this as a business, as a job. Okay? That's the first step you have to take. What exactly do you want to do? Or what exactly can you do? Okay, because sometimes you want to do something and obviously it's not what your life dictates. You know, you maybe have children, have a husband. You're not going to leave everybody behind and say, hey, I'm going to be traveling, teaching workshops. Goodbye, see you later. So define what that is practically to you. Second thing is, once you define that, then let's talk a little bit more about it. You might want to just do gigs. You know, little gigs here and there. You know, you could be in your home, you could have a full-time job, or be a stay-home mom, or whatever it is to you. And then once in a while, you'll have a little gig, you know, like somebody's birthday, somebody's wedding, and that will be your gig. You do a little performance for that. Totally fine. You can do that anytime. That requires the least amount of hard work. You feel like you have a talent, you have some costumes, you have some music, you're pretty comfortable with freestyling, you're pretty comfortable with performing in general, and why not? Let's do it. The second thing is, if you're talking about being able to perform, now define if you want to take it to the next level where you're actually a traveling performer. Different story. Now, there's two ways you can be a traveling performer. You can be a traveling performer for a short period of time, so like you have a tour. Okay, you go with a group, with a troupe or a band, or you know, there are belly dancers who just perform with one band and they just like the only dancer, right? Kind of like Zoe Jakes does that sometimes with her boyfriend's band. You know, she just performing there where the band was performing, but for her it gives a different opportunity. She's already with her boyfriend. But for you, if you're married and have children, have a boyfriend or fiance, whatever it is, it's a whole different story being gone for a short period of time doing your little gig, you know? So make sure you address those topics, of course. So if it's going to be a short time performance, make sure you discuss that, how long it's going to be, how long it's going to take, when I'm going to leave, when I'm going to be back. And what I mean by discussing that, make sure you discuss that obviously with your bandmates, troupe mates, whoever it is that you're going to be doing this gig with, and also with your family. If you have a family, make sure you discuss that with. And I don't mean by family just like kids and a husband and a wife and mommy and daddy. If you have a boyfriend, if you have a fiance, you know, if you have a significant other in your life, definitely discuss that with them, because it's so important. And it's such a toll on the relationship when you're gone for like 3 months. Well, I'm going to be doing a little bit tour, a little bit here and there. It's not a little bit for the person staying at home. So make sure you discuss that. So that's one way to do the stage performance, is doing a little bit of a kind of like a little gig with it requires a little bit of a trip, okay, for a short period of time. The other way is to be more on full time, you know, and there are dancers that are full-time belly dancers. You know, they just travel around teaching workshops and performing. It's not something you can maintain for the rest of your life. It's kind of like being a model. You're not going to be able to maintain that. But if it's something you're so into right now, find the right place, find the right company, and make sure it's a company, not like some sort of, hey, we're a troupe, You know, we do this. No, make sure you have a company. Make sure you have healthcare. Make sure you have benefits. Make sure you have stuff that's actually, you know, serious before you're taking all these chances. That stuff is not important to you? Of course, don't worry about it. Now go on and enjoy yourself with the other two. So it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. It's all what feels comfortable to you. Okay? Like the Belly Dance Superstars. I mean, that was a company. That was a company that had like health benefits and, you know, 401k and all that good stuff. So you felt like you were doing a job. You felt like you were not just wasting your time with a bunch of, I don't know, hippies that dance. It didn't feel that way. So if that's important to you, address that. So that could be a full-time thing. Well, like you have like, you know, you're like on a roll for so long, and then there are like breaks, and then you're on a roll again, and then you've got breaks. And that can take such a toll on your life, you know, especially if you have a family. So, I mean, no wonder, like if you look back now at the Belly Dance Superstars, which are history, almost, you know, not quite, because there's a lot of beautiful things they left after. But you see all the dancers, they kind of like did their own thing, you know, moved on with their own thing, had families, stopped even dancing completely. You know, for some dancers, it's something you do for a short time and you enjoy it, you know, and it's not something you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life. So make sure you define what that means for the short term and for the long term, okay? If you are talking about making it more of like, oh, you want to be a dance teacher, good for you. Do you want to do it in other studios? Do you want to start your own studio? Do you want to just do workshops, or do you want to do regular classes? To find that ahead of time. Or do you want to do it all? You know, sometimes you just want to do it all. But sometimes it's not practical, because if you want to be a traveling workshop teacher, you cannot possibly have your own dance studio where you teach weekly regular classes. Problem, right? So be realistic, because if you are going to be doing one that is going to conflict with the other, you're going to lose one of those things. You're going to lose either your workshops or you're going to lose your classes. If you thought, oh, well, I have this traveling workshop, so I can't have classes for a short period of time, you're going to lose the classes, because these people are going to lose regularity, which is important to them, and then you're going to gain the workshops, but you're going to lose your weekly classes. So remember that you're going to be making some sacrifices here and there if you are choosing one thing that's going to be conflicting with the other. You might not think about it as conflicting with the other, but in the minds of those students, it is conflicting. So address that, think about it deeply, and see if you're willing to give up one thing for another. You can't have it all. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have workshops and regular classes. You have to decide what's more important to you, whether it's on a short term or a long term. You could say, you know what, for the next year, I'm going to just be doing the workshops, and after that, I'm going to settle down and have classes. Good for you. At least you cancel all your classes for the year, and you know what you're doing. And those students are not going to be, they're going to be disappointed, but they're going to be completely disappointed because you at least informed them. It's not like, oh, well, this week there's no class, or the next 2-3 weeks there's no class. It's not convenient for them. And then it's going to make you not look like a professional. So those things are important to define. So that's my advice to you. If you want to be a professional belly dancer, do this thing for a living, make money off of it, make this thing full-time job, whatever it is that you are telling yourself right now, it's fun. It is a great way to do something that you're so passionate about. Just make sure that you know exactly what you want, what you're into, how you want to do it, and how it's going to affect you on the short term and the long term, and how it's going to affect other people on the short term and the long term, and make sure you address that and plan for it. That's my advice to you. So I'll see you next time in the next video on freebellydanceclasses.com. Of course, there's plenty of things to talk about when it comes to the business of belly dance. I'm sure we'll address some of them in the future. In the meantime, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Post your comment. Tell me exactly what you want to do in your next full-time job, if that's what you're considering as a belly dancer. If not, hey, keep on enjoying the classes, keep on enjoying dancing, have a great time. That's the most important thing. Mwah! Love you all, guys, and I'll see you next time on freebellydanceclasses.com. Bye.